Hey everybody, Redmond Gamer here, back with another sports card grading video. Today we're going to be talking about Sports Card Guarantee Corporation or Company, SGC, specifically for Pokemon cards. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So if you are just tuning in, I just recently posted a couple of videos that did a kind of a grand panoramic overview of all the different grading service companies that were out there. And I say all of them. It really wasn't all of them, but we went through 43. So definitely a very interesting exercise. I had a lot of fun putting it together. I did it mostly for my benefit. So if you enjoy it, fantastic. If not, yeah, cool. That's totally fine. I do these videos because I enjoy this hobby. It's just something I'm personally passionate about. So when I was specifically going through that video set though, and looking at all the different cards companies that were out there, SGC, it caught my eye in a way that I didn't expect. And I haven't given SGC that much credibility before, or, a focus or attention in the past. And you'll see why here. So like if I open this here, okay, this is like the original label of the SGC. And so I do a lot of sports card collecting and sports card grading. These are the original SGC slabs. Not the most exciting. They have this kind of really, special banner. We'll call it a special banner. Put it next to that little bush over there. And then we have this next version of the label that came out, which is kind of a green bear. And this is what I'm more used or accustomed to seeing from SGC, was this green border. It was very eye-popping. The green and the black border that's like securing the card really looked nice. I'm not going to say it didn't look nice. I can't say I'm a huge fan of like how they roughly cut their labels, but again, these are their early versions, right? We're going back in time, going back in history here. So then they started doing, maybe again, still had that kind of weird, chomping at the bottom of the label, but they started doing something a little bit more, kind of designer-esque on the label, making it, again, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more polished. The back of the card started looking a little bit more, I don't know, interesting as well, I guess. But then this hit. This is the new, the latest version of the label, and they even have a gold label for pristine. So I don't have one in the Pokemon versions, but you can see here that SGC has a gold label for their pristine 10-10-10, like, all the subgrades, check the boxes. That means this card was considered perfect by all accounts when grading this card by the grader. So that was really cool to me. And so, but what really struck me as I was going through this, and what caught my attention with this, was that there's no color in this label. I mean, apart from that gold pristine one, which was neat. Check this out. It's all colorless. Now, why does that matter? Why am I excited about that? It's because when you're talking about Pokemon grading, I mean, what is it about these cards that's actually interesting? I mean, if you really think about it, why are we excited about opening up a Mewtwo EX or getting a VMAX or a Rainbow Rare? I mean, honestly, why? Why are we so excited about this? The reason we're excited about this is because of the colors that are just like popping off the card. They're spectacular. And the creatures, the characters that are on this card are spectacular. The designs of these cards are spectacular. It's like, they're like little pocket-sized pieces of artwork. And it's amazing. When you think about it from that perspective, I mean, that's why people slab things. They see that as artwork, or they maybe think of it as artwork. Maybe they don't think about it that way, but I mean, that's one way you can be thinking about it and look at it. And so I think that's one of the reasons why when you have companies like HGA come out and they start doing these custom labels, it turns your head, because they seem to be catching on to the fact that there's more to the card than just simply grading it. Up until this point, we've had PSA, And that's been our kind of like our go-to. And they still hold the, they still hold the crown in terms of like the valuation. But, I mean, there's definitely some room for improvement with this label. And I might actually do a video someday about like, what would be the ideal label look, what would the ideal label look like in my personal opinion, just because I'd be interested in trying to take a stab at it, see if I could come up with something better. But I mean, PSA has been around the longest. And I think one of the reasons why PSA works as well as it does is even though it's red and eye-catching and kind of like in your face, it's also white and black. It doesn't disrupt the color scheme of the card. And I think that's why it's worked so well up to this point. And I think that's why a lot of people still go to it as a standard. The color balancing works really well. The casing, the slabs are pretty nice. The frosted, glass window is, kind of keeps the smudges down. Holds the cards really well. You can see both the front and the back, which I forgot to put a back photo in here, but you can see the back on it too. There's a lot to like about PSA. There's also a lot not to like about PSA. But SGC, getting back to the topic of discussion here, has a lot to like about it. And again, I think because it's such a neutral color, it just really pops out. It really pops out. And normally I haven't been historically a huge fan of the way they do their card holder. I have to say that this card holder is growing on me. Especially because of the way it showcases the artwork. Now, I'd have to send a couple cards out to SGC and actually see how their response times are and see if I actually like the quality of the slab that I get back. The easiest way to do that, by the way, if you're looking to like test something out, just go on eBay and buy one. If you can, afford to grade company, send your cards out for grade, and you can afford to, throw a few bucks away to go buy just a random slab off of eBay just to see if you like the design. That's a really good way to kind of dip your toe into the waters to see if this is a good option for you. And I might be doing this. I might actually be checking out SGC and seeing if there's, maybe like an 8 or 9 that got graded, just so I can get a slab in my hands and take a look at it and see if I like the design of it. Get a couple like 8 or 9s and just put them side by side and say, yeah, okay, I like the look of this. Because as I kind of was mentioning in one of my other videos, is that you kind of get to a point where it's why you have to ask the question, why am I doing this? Why am I grading my cards? And what is the outcome? Like, what are my goals for doing this? Like, do I want to just like have my cards preserved in a case? Okay, well, that's one goal. Do I want to have it, just be able to showcase and look really cool? Well, if that's the case, maybe this is more your boat. This is a cool Blaziken. Maybe this is the way to go about doing that. Or maybe you're trying to get the most bang for your buck and you're, trying to get value at it. Well, even though they're not really taking orders right now, when PSA opens back up, maybe this, holding out for PSA is going to be the way to go. Again, you have to ask the question to yourself, what is the purpose? What is the objective? And there might be some companies that kind of meet both, that have kind of a middle ground. BGS is kind of one of those, meets kind of the middle of both. It's collectible. People still have a high valuation in the BGS cards. But it's maybe a little bit more interesting than the PSA slabs. At the same time, SGC still, I see these move. I do see the SGC stuff move, so it doesn't just sit around. It's like we were talking about yesterday. You're not going to find cards like this moving very often. These cards aren't going to move very fast because not many people had a lot of confidence or trust in the grades that these came back with. So you kind of have to be somewhat careful about like who you grade with. It's like, classic joke, BCCG, almost never gives out a 9. If it does, it must have been a really, really rough card. But that's again, you just kind of have to be somewhat cautious and mindful about what you choose. But again, ask the questions. Why are you collecting? Why are you putting your cards in slabs, and what is your ultimate outcome? But SGC really caught my attention because one of the things as I was looking at some of these HGA cards, especially with some of the kind of the neutral designs and the color splashes, I just found myself a little bit overwhelmed with the options of trying to do color matching, and it almost seems like sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't quite work, or at least to my personal preference, and it almost was like the color was getting in the way of the card. It's like it was going too far. And I know they have a gray option, like a neutral or color splash. It's just like all gray. But then what's the point of having HGA? What's the point of using HGA if you're going to just take all the color out? I think HGA excels at color. I think SGC excels at no color. So there you go. Those are just some of my 2 cents thoughts for the day. Hope they were helpful. If you like the video, give it a like. I'll keep posting videos like this. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, and I'll get some more content out for you. But post in the comments if you want to see any particular grading company. I'll do a deep dive analysis on it. Happy to do it. I really enjoy this hobby, so happy to keep on cranking stuff out. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and yeah, appreciate you. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care. Cheers.